Over 3,000 years ago, in the age of heroes and gods, a single act of passion ignited a war that would echo through history, the Trojan War. It all began with Helen, the queen of Sparta, said to be the most beautiful woman in the world. Paris, a prince of Troy, whether driven by love or by the will of the gods, took her from her home and brought her to the great city of Troy. This act of abduction, whether it was a real event or a poetic myth, was more than enough to provoke a massive and furious response from the Greeks. King Menelaus of Sparta, Helen's husband, was enraged. He called upon the other Greek kings and heroes, including his powerful brother, the mighty Agamemnon, to fulfill their oaths and help him bring Helen back. It wasn't long before a vast armada assembled. Over 1,000 ships sailed across the Aegean Sea, a sight to behold, carrying some of the greatest and most feared warriors of the age. Their destination: the impenetrable walls of Troy. When the Greeks reached the shores of Troy, they demanded the return of Helen and the stolen treasures. But the city, proud and defiant, refused to surrender. What followed was not a single decisive battle, but a grueling 10-year siege. For a decade, the Greeks camped outside the city, and the fields before Troy became a stage for legendary combat. Heroes clashed in a relentless cycle of violence and glory. Achilles, the greatest of the Greek warriors, seemingly invincible, fought with unmatched ferocity, his name becoming a source of terror for the Trojans. On the other side, Hector, the noble prince of Troy, and its greatest defender, fought with immense courage and honor to protect his city, his family, and his people. The legends tell us that the gods themselves took sides in this epic conflict, turning the war into a celestial chess match. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, along with Hera, queen of the gods, and Poseidon, ruler of the seas, favored the Greeks. They offered guidance, strength, and sometimes direct intervention on the battlefield. In opposition, Apollo, the god of archery and prophecy, and Aphrodite, the goddess of love who had promised Helen to Paris in the first place, supported the Trojans, shielding their favored warriors from harm. The battlefield wasn't just a mortal struggle. It was a divine arena where the whims of the gods could turn the tide of any fight. Among the countless epic clashes and skirmishes of the decade-long war, a few key moments stand out, immortalized in poetry and song. One of the most famous is the story of Achilles' rage. After a dispute with Agamemnon, Achilles withdrew from the fighting, a devastating blow to the Greek forces. In his absence, his closest friend and companion, Patroclus, wore Achilles' armor to inspire the troops but was tragically killed by Hector. The news of Patroclus' death sent Achilles into a blind fury. He returned to the war with a singular, terrifying purpose: to kill Hector. This led to the war's most famous duel, a dramatic and fateful confrontation between the two greatest warriors of their generation. Hector, knowing his fate, faced Achilles outside Troy's gates. It was a war defined not just by heroism and honor, but also by profound and tragic loss. But even the greatest heroes fall. In their final heart-wrenching duel, Hector was slain by the vengeful Achilles. The Trojans mourned their beloved prince, their protector, and their hope. With Hector gone, a shadow fell over the city. Yet Troy still stood. Its massive, legendary walls remained unbroken, a testament to the city's resilience. For now, the war had dragged on for 10 long, weary years. Countless lives were lost on both sides, and still, neither the Greeks nor the Trojans could claim a decisive victory. The Greeks couldn't breach the walls, and the Trojans couldn't drive the invaders away. When brute force failed, cunning came into play. Odysseus, the clever king of Ithaca, devised a brilliant and deceptive plan. The Greeks would pretend to give up and sail away. But they would leave behind a gift, a massive wooden horse, supposedly an offering to the goddess Athena to ensure their safe journey home. The horse was hollow, and hidden deep inside were Odysseus and a select group of Greece's finest soldiers. The Trojans awoke to find the Greek camp empty and the enormous wooden horse standing on the beach. Believing the war was finally over, and that the horse was a sacred offering to the gods, a sign of the Greeks' surrender, they celebrated. Against the warnings of a few, they brought the colossal statue inside their city walls, sealing their own doom. That night, as Troy slept, drunk on victory and relief, the Greek warriors hidden inside the horse emerged. They crept through the silent streets, killed the sentries, and opened the city gates for the rest of the Greek army, which had secretly sailed back under the cover of darkness. The trap was sprung and the great city of Troy fell. Flames engulfed the legendary city as the Greek army marched triumphantly through the streets. The night was filled with chaos, destruction, and the cries of citizens fleeing for their lives. But the Trojan War is more than just a tale of love, betrayal, and a clever trick. It's a foundational story of Western culture, exploring themes of strategy, courage, honor, fate, and the devastating cost of conflict. It also raises a fascinating question about the thin line between myth and history. For centuries, many believed Troy was just a city of legend. But in the 19th century, archaeologists discovered the ruins of a powerful, ancient city at a site called Hisarlik in modern-day Turkey. This city was destroyed and rebuilt multiple times, and one of its layers shows evidence of a violent conflict that aligns with the time frame of the Trojan War. These findings suggest that the epic story we know today may have been inspired by a real historical event. From Homer's epic poem, the Iliad, which focuses on just a few weeks of the final year of the war, to countless films, books, and even video games, the Trojan War continues to capture our imagination. It remains a powerful and enduring symbol of human ambition, blinding passion, and the eternal struggle between our own free will and a destiny that may already be written in the stars. A single love, a decade-long siege, and a wooden horse that changed the course of legend forever. What do you think? Did the city of Troy really fall in this way, or is it just one of the greatest stories ever told? Thanks for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic stories from history and myth.